Hi there, I'm Java Jim with First Line Equipment, and I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day today. Staying safe and healthy during this COVID-19 pandemic, and hopefully you're enjoying some good espresso, cappuccino, lattes, your favorite coffee beverage at home. But there's an important thing and an important announcement today, because during 2020, I have seen issues created by water on espresso machines. And just to be very, very clear, typically the problems that I see is machines with PID sensors overheating. And this is across the broad range of machines that have PID sensors on the boilers. And in most cases, it's when it's directly touching the water, but there have been some cases where the PID sensor is on the outside of the boiler and it's not touching, but there have been some cases. So let me explain. Here we have the Lilith Victoria. The sensor's on the outside of the boiler and it's monitoring the temperature nicely, but the water, and I'll explain later about the water because I've seen an improvement where customers change the water. The water coats the inside of the boiler. So where originally there was no coating, the sensor is picking up a pretty decent and good temperature. But when you get the coating on the inside of the boiler, the temperature sensor or the PID sensor has to read with that extra film that's in between. So the machine can overheat and be hotter than what it really shows. I've also seen it where, like here on the Sylvia Pro, where the sensor is directly pinned into the boiler, coffee boiler, steam boiler, and what happens is you get lime scale from this water or a film that builds up, and the temperature cannot be sensed properly by the PID sensor. And the same thing with VBM, the same thing with other brands of machines where the sensor gets fouled up. Now on the flip side, what I've also seen is water that's too pure, that has very little parts per million or ppms of other minerals, and the water oxidizes with the metals and creates a different type of thin film. The most notorious water to use, and unfortunately my competitors promoted this, and there's some manufacturers who promote this, and the water where you use these packets of minerals and add them to distilled water, or these formulas that they give and add them to distilled water, are no good. Okay, I've seen so many machines where customers have an overheating problem, and the first question we ask them is, what water are you using? Even with the water softener, you get this film. So please stop using these distilled waters with these mineral packets, because they're not good for espresso machines. Now, they may be good for drip coffee, pour over. You may get an exceptional and improved flavor. And how do I know this? Because I'm monitoring the forums as well, and customers who have used this formulated water with distilled water have had problems. Once we got it out there not to use this water, the problems have diminished. So really, really important, and nothing against these companies. The water is probably good for drip and pour over, but not good for machines with the PID sensors, until I find something that will work well without an issue for you. So I do have these machines here. It's not representative just for these. It's across the board with any machine that has a PID sensor on the boiler, inside or out. Do not use those formulated waters. Now you may say, well, what should I use? you need to use softened water. So most machines, we have solutions where you can soften the water. Take tap water and soften it, okay? And that's really what you want to use. There'll be some mineral content, but you don't want to use distilled, you don't want to use purified, you don't want to use RO straight up, because you'll get the opposite effect of oxidation on the metal, and it builds a film and the machine overheats. To stress the point, when the machine overheats, it's the water. When a PID sensor goes bad, there's no heat, not an overheat situation. The overheat is created by poor water. And this is a PSA, public service announcement, so you can understand when you're calling into us and we tell you it's the water, okay, on an overheat. If it's a no heat situation, it could be a reset of a thermostat, a safety thermostat, which could result from an overheat. And then once you click that on, it goes in overheat, then you know right away. It could be a bad heating element, it could be bad wiring, something happened when there's a no heat situation. But on an overheat, it comes down to the water. If you have any questions or comments, please ask down below. I'd be happy to try to answer them as best as possible. Give us a thumbs up. And if you're on Facebook, there's the 3 little dots where you can follow us and put us as the favorites, not the default, so we come up faster for you. And once again, this is Java Jim with First Line Equipment. Thank you for watching and have a great day. And we did change a sign over there. First I drink the coffee, then I do the things. Take care.